Throughout history, mankind has built temples and monuments to the deities that it worships and venerates. We can see this with the ancient Greeks and Romans, going back to the Sumerians and Babylonians. We can see this with the ancient Jews and then the Christians. All over the world, in Asian traditions as well, such as Buddhism and Hinduism, we can see the desire in people to create monuments, to create temples, to create pyramids, in order to respect and placate deities and ancestors, and as a way of separating the ordinary world from the sacred. This has been a noble impulse through much of human history. We can see that in these temples and monuments, people congregated, there was fellowship there. The values of antiquity were some of the great reasons that civilization flourished around these monuments and temples. You know, it's no wonder what so much of what we know about ancient Greeks and Romans is Greco-Roman architecture. And we can see that today in our government buildings. You go to the Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. You go to the White House, all influenced by these architectural designs. People viewed these structures as sort of beacons to another world. And you know, it's telling that all throughout the world, people have had this impulse, this almost innate desire to create such structures in order to make a connection with something greater than themselves. But folks, there's also a darker side to this, because throughout human history we've had temples to death and to avarice and to malice. We can see in the French Revolution, with the rise of liberalism, the orgies and just disgusting depravity, the utter chaos and nihilism that liberalism established with a secular religion once they wanted to push out the values of conservatism and antiquity. Which brings me to today, folks. There's a group out there called Everything is Terrible. And no, I'm not just saying everything is terrible. This is a comedy group by just they're very sort of hoity-toity, and you know, I'm so different and special, and a lot of what they make is just bizarre. But you know, in this post-fact, postmodern era, there certainly is no truth about good comedy and bad, is there? Now, this group, Everything is Terrible, first of all, you could just tell it's a group of basically there's demonic influence to what they do. They like damaged footage. They like mixing footage from low-budget productions that were quickly made in the 80s and 90s. And they seem to sort of enjoy rubbing people's faces in just vulgarity and ugliness. And frequently they'll mock Christian productions from that time, which, hey, they weren't exactly Spielberg productions, but let's give the folks some credit for trying to maintain family values. Beware the construction of temples to secular gods. Everything is Terrible have been trying to collect every single Jerry Maguire VHS tape in existence to build some kind of unholy temple to them. Now, it certainly flies in the face of temples like the Washington Monument and the Jefferson Memorial, things that our great nation was founded upon, and our founding fathers in all their wisdom brought these Christian European values to us, and we respect the heritage we've gotten from them. Well, you know what? This Jerry Maguire VHS tape pyramid is a big F-U to all of that. You see, everybody behaves in certain power streams. We can look back in time to all the different civilizations that achieved colonies around the world and great imperial states. The fall of Rome certainly was in a great power stream for much of history until its great decline. There's something otherworldly about this pyramid that everything is terrible is making. You see the mockery in it. They want you to laugh at the idea of a temple. I mean, imagine somebody, of course, you mock Christianity, it's no big deal, but imagine mocking a holy building, say, from the Buddhists, or the Jews, or the Muslims. But you can do it to the Christians in a Christian nation, and everybody just laughs. It's not even given a second thought. So why would Everything is Terrible set out for such a mundane, frankly, a foolish endeavor? Building a temple out of Jerry Maguire VHS tapes, a movie from 1996 starring Tom Cruise and Renee Zellweger. Well, people, I want to suggest something to you. I know it's going to make some of you maybe chuckle a bit, but it is possible they are constructing a demon forge. There's a former high priest of the Church of Satan, Diabolus Rex Church, who is building such a device as well. He is secluded in Seattle, of course, liberal place, and he is building a 40-ton demon forge that will somehow give him some unearthly power over life and death, called a Ragnarok engine. Now, folks, you don't want to go messing with these kinds of forces. Believe me, in my younger days, I was quite the rake and would flit about and pleasing every whim I had. And let me tell you, the consequences are real, and you will face them for your decisions. This pyramid from Everything is Terrible, it's such a mockery of religion, of Christianity, and I was looking at what kind of power stream would it coincide with. President Trump. Now, to be clear, they started collecting these tapes well before Trump was running for president. So why would I say President Trump? It's actually a byproduct of what they've been doing. When they started doing this, Obama was already in his second term as president. And Obama and the liberals just absolutely hate religion and conservatives. They are such unhappy, miserable, broken people that they would destroy themselves just to make other people unhappy. You know, Trump supporters, for the most part, are pretty happy people. I mean, we have lots of things to do. We believe in self-improvement. We believe in helping each other and our neighbors and not relying on the government to take care of everything. The kind of people that hate themselves, they're so masochistic and just hate the idea of fellowship and bonds that we've inherited throughout history that brought us to where we are in America, which Donald Trump will make great again, is exactly why Everything is Terrible would make this pyramid. Such a temple is toying with demons. Demonology speaks of creating vessels in which they can enter our world and tempt us more and take over certain people and even items. Jerry Maguire, it makes no difference what the film is, but folks, I think these people are just so bitter and angry that Obama is losing power and that he wasn't just coronated king for life, that they set about this process to make this what essentially is a demon forge, this pyramid to the gods of liberalism, of consumerism, of banality. That they want us all to be mystified by, the latest stunt that they're doing. It's called performance art. Apparently these people have never heard of real artists like Rembrandt or Michelangelo. This Jerry Maguire VHS tape pyramid, this celebration of venalism and consumerism, and just look at me, I've got the latest gadget. Look to me, I went to Best Buy and bought the latest TV. Aren't I special? I'm a special little snowflake, SJW. Folks, this is toying with forces that none of us are strong enough to deal with. This Jerry Maguire pyramid must be stopped. And who knows, I'm certainly hoping Donald Trump will intervene if we can get an executive order to shut this down, because this has no place in a Christian nation as envisioned by our forefathers. The people who are memorialized in the Washington Monument, in the Jefferson Memorial, in Mount Rushmore. Liberalism is a cancer. And sure, we all think, well, Trump's won now, and we can all rest on our laurels, and Trump will make America great again. No, we must all work for this. So be careful, folks. Be careful about engaging with these just sycophantic losers that everything is terrible. Be careful about the people you associate with. You just say something, gently encourage them. If you see, hey, do you really need to buy that bracelet? Hey, I think there's a better use of your time than buying the latest iPhone. Because people, unless we start looking around in this country and speaking up, it'll be too late for all of us. Because we'll all have fallen asleep, and no one will be left to help us wake up.